girl Jay, the High Priestess, back at it again with your daily tarot reading for Wednesday, Wednesday, December 28th. I'm already in the future, y'all. December 28th, 2022. The card that just flew out is the Eight of Swords reversed. So I feel like it's funny, I was just like with the Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, it feels like there is this kind of movement out of this looping in the mind. A lot of people are going fucking through it. This is just like a hard time. Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck means that it's time to start striving for structure and peace and new updates, new perspectives, new outlooks on your emotional health, your emotional and mental harmony. Emotional and mental maturity need to be, strived for. And I do feel like it has something to do with looking at like old habits, looking at ways like, are you stringing yourself up in some way? I also feel like some of you are cutting out of the loop by way of using your words, by way of saying what needs to be said. I feel like you at least will feel better. Do your part to not be a dick about it, but do your part to take accountability. Look at your own reflection. Look at your own contribution to the loop, to the cycle. Is there some sort of loop in your mind that it's time to break free of? Is there some sort of narrative that you're telling yourself? Every time I do this, last time I did that. There could just be some of that stuff coming up. Like it feels like your stuff is coming up. The ways that you're restricted in your mind is coming up. And there is some sort of movement, falling back, pulling back. If there's somebody maybe with Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements, there may be a pulling back or a distancing. Please clarify the Eight of Swords reversed. But I just feel like there is something, nothing flipped out. There is just something about being willing to see yourself, being willing to realize like it's only a shadow, it's only a reflection. You, in actuality, are not strung up, are not bound. In all actuality, you're quite free. But you're used to the struggle. Some of us are in love with the struggle, glamorize the struggle, romanticize the struggle, the hardship, the journey of it all. And it's time to unsubscribe from the struggle and get comfortable with ease. And that shift, it may be uncomfortable for a while. But there is something here about realizing the way you see yourself versus how you actually are. The situation you are actually in versus your perspective of it. The facts versus opinions. The facts versus muscle memory. The facts versus a trauma response. The reality of the situation versus a trauma response. I also feel like there's something about like get up off your knees. Like you don't need to be begging for anything. You don't need to be asking anyone outside of you for any sort of fulfillment or it's like maybe even checking your expectations in some sort of way. I mean, that's all of us checking our expectations in some sort of way. But also I feel like some of us are really bound in the mind, really bound in our hearts, which means we're really bound with our words and we're not using our words as wisely as we could. And if we put in the effort and really strove to be brave, there would be movement that's created in these uncomfortable situations by way of just speaking our truths. Please clarify the Eight of Swords reversed. The Seven of Wands. There's, with the Hermit at the bottom of the deck, there's some like defensiveness going on, a feeling of isolation, also some sort of like internal struggle with like your duality, different aspects of you tugging you in different directions. And there is this call to action to get still, to get quiet. Look at them, all of them like in a somewhat prayerful or meditative position. So I feel like the answer to today's waves is stillness. The moon is in Pisces. So Jesus, take the wheel. And I do feel like whatever is coming up that you're striving for peace or victory over, it's your work to be done. It needs to be done on your own. Don't go putting your work on other people, especially if they have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn placements. Do your own work. Ooh, this just made me think of, ooh, hold on, BRB, this is worth it. So don't you fucking dare judge me. But Warrior Nun was actually pretty fucking fire, and I saw that a new season came out, and when I went to go start it, I saw that all of the episodes are Bible scriptures, Bible verses. And I went and looked at this one. Oof. And I was going to do a little video on this, but it's coming up now. So let's go ahead and just get into it. Maybe I'll just make this for everybody. But the King James Version of Galatians 6, verses 4 and 5 is, "But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden." And then the New King James Version, which I like, these translations are just like, them trying to basically like break it down for, the layman, the masses. And the New King James Version says, which I really like, "But let each one examine his own work." Compared to, "But let every man prove his own work." I like that the examining is implied in the proving here. But let each one examine his own work, and then he will have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For each one shall bear his own load. And that, oof. That. But let every man, every person, let everyone examine their own work. And at this point in the game, we should be able to have some really healthy, constructive criticism. Healthy, constructive criticism. Constructive, the healthy is implied in the constructive. But examine your own work. Examine your own choices. Examine what you are bringing to the table, your contribution. Examine your own actions. How far have you come? Are you able to give yourself, a pat on the back? Are you able to celebrate the small wins? But also, what is your own work? Because I love how this implies that not only will you have your own load to bear, your own burden to bear, but you have your own work, something that's specific to you. And when you tap into it, then you'll have rejoicing in yourself alone. That's that self-made 9 of Cups shit. that I did this. No one can take this from me. No one can like discount or discredit my contribution to this. And so let this just go to show that, or just be a reminder that you have your own work, you have your own burdens, you have your own load to bear, and so does every single soul walking around you. So extend yourself and everyone around you some grace. I love you.